During last night's convention, we heard a lot about the decision to move forward with the mission to take out Osama Bin Laden.
It was just 5 years ago. U.S. intelligence got word that the terror leader was in Pakistan.
President Obama gave the go-ahead for U.S. Navy SEALs to go into the compound, to complete the mission, and to get out under the cover of night. Our guest, Rob O'Neill, was a member of SEAL Team 6. Rob says he fired the headshots that killed Osama Bin Laden. Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, when it came out that you were the guy, and there was a Fox special about it, you were a hero to many people, and you were a bum to many people. The hero, we understand. The bum part was you stepped out of your lane. Can you respond to that?
Well, I mean, bum's kind of harsh, I think.
All right, let's take it back. You give me the word.
It seems like the naysayers always have the loudest voices, and it wasn't myself that put my name out there. My name was put out there basically before it even happened. Even in our circles, before we landed in Virginia Beach, people on both coasts knew who it was because the first question people ask is who did it, and then, well, they don't tell anybody, but this happened and this happened. It slowly spread. A lot of people outside the circle up on Capitol Hill knew about it, and once I got out, my name was pretty much out there.
A lot of your people, the people with whom you had a brotherhood, were upset about your name being out there and were upset with you. How do you react to that?
If anyone was there with me at the time, I don't have a problem with it because they actually got on the helicopter, they risked their lives, and I respect their opinions. I respect most opinions too, but if they weren't there at the time, they only know what they were told. So I mean, I don't care, to be honest with you. It's one of those things. If they serve their country, that's fine. There's a lot of jealousy that goes on in some of the communities, and like I said, if they serve, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I'll listen to them.
The moment itself, you're there in that house, you're behind the point man, and suddenly you see Osama Bin Laden.
Yes.
Could you just take us through that?
When I walked up to him, I followed the point man up the stairs. He went through a curtain, and we were assuming the two individuals that were behind the curtain, we didn't know if they were men or women that had suicide vests. He actually jumped on them so the guy behind him could get a shot. He didn't know it was me. He knew it was one of his guys, just based on the way, just based on our tactics. So he's a hero. He gave his life for the guy behind him. When I turned after he took that heroic move, I saw Osama Bin Laden for probably definitely less than 2 seconds, probably less than 1 second.
Was it a shocking moment?
No, it was a. He's taller than I thought, skinnier than I thought. His beard is shorter and gray. That's his nose. That's him. He's not surrendering. He's definitely a threat. He needs to be taken out, and I took him out.
Did you see things in slow motion? Because at
I can see it. I can see it in slow motion now, but it just really happened fast. Turning a corner, I saw the wife. He was there. I didn't recognize the 2-year-old son that was there after the shots were taken. I saw him, and then after I put the wife on the bed and actually moved his son, that's when it kind of slowed down, and other people came in and started to sort of ask me what.
Was the movie correct when you were inching up the stairs? There was a son that came out and you called the son's name and he answered. Was that correct or no?
That was sort of correct, and I was a little bit far back. I saw that happen, and that was just good tactics right there. It wasn't a big bravado jump in front of people try to get a shot. It was a slow, methodical, smooth. The movie was actually based on the female analyst that found him. She's the one that told us who would be there, so the guy in front just used his name.
You know, other than the immense ops that you conducted, what struck me watching the process and reliving it, in the news, is that you see the family of this man that's been, horribly demonized for good reason, but you see the family and the children in it. What was it like to actually experience not this, this elevation of this monster, but the family and the reality of his circumstances?
It was like every one of the other 400+ missions I've been on. Everywhere you go and there's bad guys, there's going to be a few wives and a bunch of kids. And then the sad thing is they're just kind of used to it. And they always do the same thing. They find each other. And there was even spots even during this gunfight and other gunfights where our guys would go to dangerous spots to get children out of the way and put them with family members, just being we as the good guys. So it was just kind of standard. They go to one spot and they kind of just
you are Mr. Matter of Fact.
Well, he's
you're talking about an immense moment in history, and you talk about it as if, well, I went to the store and I bought a lottery ticket and whatever else.
Well, it is a matter of fact because of the team that I was with. Everybody there was the best person I'd known, and it was just.
But you say over and over again, you go out on a mission, several missions. This was one of them where you don't expect to come back.
Well, this one we definitely didn't expect to come back.
You thought you would get killed.
We thought we would get killed, get captured, or just stay there in Pakistan forever. We didn't know what would happen.
Especially when the helicopter went down.
That was even one of the things that we talked about before when we had the perfect plan, and we're talking about the perfect plan, how we're definitely going to get it done. And someone said, what's the worst thing that could happen? And the youngest guy there said, well, the helicopter could crash in the front yard. Let's talk about that. So we talked about that. That happened.
That happened, exactly happened, yeah. You watching the conventions?
I've been watching both of them.
You got a side on this?
No, I don't have a side. I'm fortunate enough. I've talked with people like General Wesley Clark, who's very close to Hillary Clinton, that said she probably knows the most about foreign policy. I've met with Mr. Trump before, and he's a guy that's smart enough building the businesses he does to surround himself with people that know. It's very interesting to see that happens, because right now it looks like both sides are sort of, they're separating. You know, we got the Bernie Sanders types that are upset that Hillary's got it, and then on the Republican side, you have people like Jeb Bush and Governor Kasich, who won't even go to the convention.
No question, whoever takes office has a very big issue to deal with, and that would be ISIS. So
ISIS, yeah. Well, I mean, ISIS, it's gonna change for ISIS right around the 21st of January.
Are you under threat?
Possibly, yeah. I'm aware of it. I have stuff in place, but I've dealt with these people before, and I'm aware of it. And
they know who you are. They might want retribution.
They,
right?
Yeah, they do. But I think that it'd be complacent for Americans to think, well, he's just a threat, so we're not. Everyone here is a threat.
Right.
Everything. All they want to do is they want to kill people, and they want to make sure a lot of people are watching them kill people. I mean, so okay, I might be a threat, but apparently so is a Catholic priest in a church in Normandy. You know, this is a big problem. They hate all of us, so we're all in this together.
Why are you here? What's happening?
I'm here because we are raising awareness for my foundation. I was a co-founder. It's called Your Grateful Nation. I got out of the Navy just after 16 years, so I didn't get a pension. And you need to do 20 to get a pension. But there are so many people. This is the most sustained amount of time for combat this nation's ever been in. So a lot of these people that serve for 16, 15 years, do 10 combat deployments, they don't want to do another 7 just to get a pension. So what Your Grateful Nation does is it's individual transitional support to the private sector. So we'll find out what that special operator wants to do, and then we'll find a company that can mentor them, and then introduce them to get hopefully 6 months to mentor them. When they get out, they get a project managerial type job, or even higher than that.
Transition back into
the private sector. What's nice about it too, though, it started out as let's be good to the vets and get them jobs. Now it's talk to the companies. You want to be a better company? Hire this person.
Because you have the discipline, you have all of this.
Who's better trained?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the way to treat people, the team building, how to manage stress.
And they're so young. The average age, what, 32, right?
I'm pushing about 28. No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
Do you miss it? Do you miss being out there?
I miss the people with whom I served. Everybody from the brave man that went up the stairs to the women that found him. To I mean, we brought women on special operations with us.
I mean, that's an adrenaline rush. How do you ever match that?
That was part of the reason I got out, because I stopped getting adrenaline. We did the Bin Laden raid. I actually
stopped getting adrenaline?
I went to combat, one more deployment after the Bin Laden raid. And I remember the last mission I was on, we were in a gunfight, and there was no adrenaline. It's like, maybe it's time to get out.
It's time to go. One last question for you. I mean, we're in the political season right now. The commitment to go to places like Iraq or Afghanistan
or Syria
or anywhere else is a big political commitment. Do you guys think about that, or that's off the table?
The political commitment, no, but we're more realistic than politics. We know that we need to fight the jihad now, or we can let our children fight it. Because there's a capital in Raqqa, Syria, and you need to hit force with force at the source, or else they're going to.
But the problem there, for instance, in that particular town you're talking about, there are regular civilians who are among them who suffer from that.
Sure, there's a lot of regular civilians getting run over by a truck watching fireworks too.
Yeah, but you know my point. And they hide among the civilians. You don't know who's who.
They do hide among. There will be collateral damage, but the problem is, I mean, we can pay now, or we can pay later.
By the way, your dad is here, right?
Yeah,
he is. Look at him over there.
Where's Dad?
Tom. There's Tom.
Aw, how lovely is that?
Dad, were you an adrenaline junkie too?
Not too much of an adrenaline junkie. It's watching
You've got
Rob,
some now.
watching Rob go away to war. I have a good sports analogy. We both played basketball, and we've both been involved in sports. Sometimes it's easier to be in the sport than to watch it.
Yeah.
And that was the that's the sensation I had when Rob would take off. I'd rather be with him than not with him and watching.
You must be so proud of him.
I
Very
understand
proud.
that.
Yeah.
Very proud.
I'm proud of him too.
He was dying every day.
Well, yeah,
yes.
and he was exactly right. It's easier to go to war than to watch someone go to war, because I could control it. It's like watching a horror movie. Don't go in the basement. Well, I just wouldn't go in the basement, but he didn't know I was smart enough to not go in the basement.
Wow.
All right. Dad, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. You're not a bum. Who called you that? I want to know.
We're good. We're good.
Great to meet you.
Good luck with the
Congratulations.
event tonight.
Appreciate it.
Rob O'Neill, thank you so much. And good safety to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it.